This week from the internet. Playing with yourself has never been so much fun. Hasbro makes our toy dreams come true as our Selfie Series action figures arrive ahead of schedule. Plus, is Andor compelling television because it's set in the Star Wars universe or in spite of its connection to the Force? And Habsro rolls for the fences with their new Dungeons and Dragons action figures, including transforming dice, snake eyes, spies, saboteurs, assassins. We've all done terrible things on behalf of the rebellion. It's the Reluctant Adult Podcast.
Welcome to another episode of the Reluctant Adult Podcast. My name is Paul, and I am joined, as always, by the man who can't stop playing with himself, Bill.
Hi, everybody.
Well, that's horrifying. Is that what your Selfie Series figure looks like?
Close enough.
Looks like someone from Fortnite. Jesus.
No, this is Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
I don't know.
The best Halloween sequel out there.
Halloween, so today is Saturday. Halloween is in 2 days. I feel like it snuck up on us. I don't feel like that I was so excited for the Halloween season to start.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like I participated in the season at all.
It's been a very quick month.
Yeah.
It's like you gotta start it in like August to like really enjoy it.
Right. Yeah.
Almost like, you know, if you do your apple picking and your fall foliage, you spread it out over that. But yeah, it just seems like, hey, when they start setting it up in August, you better start celebrating it fast.
Yeah, it's like, so I collect the target birds, and it's, if you see them once, that's it. So get them. So it's like, once the target birds are gone, once I have them, I feel like that was it for the season. That was the big thing for the season. So, are we wearing glasses tonight?
Yeah, so last week, everybody, if you didn't know, I was sick as can be. I think
we could tell.
I normally am pretty coherent, and I usually wear contacts, but I came down with a wonderful case of like quick conjunctivitis.
There you go.
And probably from the kids, and then like another cold and everything else, and just feeling miserable. So I'm back.
There you
but
go.
Because of the eyes,
couple
I can't.
Of nerds up here.
What nerds?
4 eyes. Whoa, I'm seeing double. 4 crusties.
Yeah, 4 crusties. So yeah, you mentioned I'm playing with myself, and I can finally say happily that yeah, I am playing with myself.
There we go. Look, it's not weird. It's very normal.
Oh
look
my gosh.
We have our own. You're a Ghostbuster. I'm a Stormtrooper. Best friends forever.
Let's make them meet over at the center of
look at this.
Hey, how you doing over there?
Hi, how's it going?
Ah! Hold on. Mine comes with effects. Oh!
Yeah, I only get the gun.
You get the gun.
So I understand why they don't come with the alternate head, because they don't really want you switching the heads out. But
sure.
They make the helmet. It comes with the George Lucas figure. You could have done the empty helmet, but then I guess that sets a precedent because they don't have it for the Red Ranger. So they're like, we'll just forget about that.
Yeah.
So we've been talking about the Selfie Series for many months now. People have only seen the renders that Hasbro put out, or they saw them on the app when they were going through the process. People have started to get the figures now. The turnaround process was quicker than...
Much quicker, 30 days.
Anticipated.
30 days,
it was great.
Because they gave us 45.
Right, so so one of those rare instances where toys came faster than expected. So people have been getting them with mixed results. But I opened mine and I was floored. I just thought the second I laid eyes on it, I was like, that's me. That's me. That's me. Look, that's me. Look it's me. I'll take my glasses off so you can say, that's what I look like. I'm smiling.
Yeah. Oh, get me too. So I would say maybe.
Looks great.
I would say the only drawback obviously is that we don't have more hair options.
Right.
This looks like me. This definitely looks like me though before kids.
Well, that's the thing. It's a little bit of a time capsule.
Yes, exactly.
Smooths out the wrinkles, the hair. So, like, I chose brown. I think I was like, there was maybe one step darker. I definitely will go with the darker option because it's so light. It almost borders on red hair. Like, it makes
I'm
me
gonna do this. I'm gonna do the same next time because on the render itself, it did look much darker.
Yeah.
As did the beard. Was the exact opposite. The beard looked lighter, so I got the deeper color beard than what I should have. I should have gotten a little bit lighter or a different style. But I will be doing it again.
With, like, not the full beard, like more of just like not stubble necessarily, but not like it's pretty accurate to what I look like. I don't have like the fullest of beards. I keep it pretty short. But I love it. I'm so excited. I posted on Twitter, like, I'm sorry to everyone who's dissatisfied with their figure. Clearly this program was made just for me so that I could live out my dream of having an action figure that looks like me. And I have another one coming. I have the Power Ranger, the Red Ranger. So I did more of a serious face because it's serious business. And then depending on how that one turns out, I'm going to order more. I need the Ghostbuster now because I want to do the darker hair. So I'll either do the smiley face, which I think is fun, or if I like the serious face, we'll go that route. But I'm so excited. People can call us Hasbro shills all they want, but no company has ever done this for us. Toy Biz never made us figures. Jack Specific, NECA, no company has ever made action figures of us and delivered them. And I could say now that I have an official Hasbro action figure. I am part of the Star Wars Black Series universe.
There we go. And I can fight right alongside my favorite boys in gray, the Ghostbusters.
You have the rookie name tag.
The rookie name tag is very nice.
The only thing I don't like about the Ghostbuster figure is the black neck.
It's not, once you get it in hand though, it's not that noticeable. I would say if your face print is good, then you can almost just say, because they do wear black shirts underneath their flight suits, so the neck and the cut line could be a little better. But again, if your sculpt and your face print comes out good, then you don't really even notice it
about that.
No. So, but I was surprised to see, because I knew you're obviously going to get the Proton Pack. Same Proton Pack that came out with the Plasma series. But you also get the Neutrino Blast effect, the Particle Thrower effect.
Which originally only came with Winston. The other three guys didn't come with that in the first series.
They did not. So you get that, and you also get a PKE meter.
Well, just
very exciting.
That's nice. Just
very exciting. Little accessories that I didn't think you were going to come with. So right there, I mean, it's just, it's still $60.
But
turnaround time's excellent.
It's that's not like, if it gets bumped up to 80, it's less of a good deal. But for $60, a custom head, professionally done, the same technology they're using to make Dungeons and Dragons figures, like whatever they're currently making. I think that the value is there. It's just it's literally a one of a kind thing. They're not making two when they make it. It's not like you can order 70 of the same figure. You have to do a new scan every time.
Right.
So I think it's great. I was originally thinking about swapping the body to the newer Stormtrooper Buck because I really like that one. But this is fine. I think I'm just going to leave it. This is my first one. I don't want to mess with it. I'm going to get more, and maybe then I'll feel a little bit safer, like popping the head off and whatever. But this one's going to stay the way he is. Forever will be my first. You always remember your first. So look at that. I just love it. It just makes me happy to look at it.
Yeah.
He's so happy. He's a happy little guy. So now, of course, I want to do basically Twisted Me Go Theater, where all of the friends come into the world and Mini Me interacts with them. So I have to build sets. I have to get chairs and borrow them from the wrestling figures. Yeah, I'm so excited about this. Gonna live in the action figure world, in the Hasbro world.
Beautiful. You don't need the metaverse. You got the figureverse.
Oh, that's what I was saying. Forget this Auto T and NFT. Just give us physical toys, but then make make a little digital environment that you can augmented reality on your phone. That's what we want.
There we go.
Somebody was reviewing the original Death Star playset from the Kenner line, and I had never really looked into that.
Yeah.
But it's pretty good. Like what they were able to accomplish. They gave you the trash compactor. They gave you the bridge that falls down so you can swing across
gangway.
it. Like, they really put a lot of stuff from the movie into this thing.
You had an elevator, which is great.
Trapdoor into the trash compactor.
You had the turret station on the top that you could utilize for your vehicles.
You could pop that right out.
Yeah, no, it is a really good set. I remember finding mine at a yard sale, and it was a yard sale for a cat fostering center.
Okay, good.
So the stuff was thrown all over the place, and I didn't even understand how I knew. Like, it was almost like that Beautiful Mind, like sparks just shooting off. And I'm like formulating it in my head. Yeah, I'm formulating the blueprint of the quarter Death Star piece into my head, and I'm finding it all over the place, and I found it complete. And it was within like a 15-foot radius. And I was just like, this to this to this. And then they're like, I go, how much? And they're like, oh, $2. And I'm like,
oh my God.
There you go.
A world that no longer exists where people don't know the value of toys.
Correct. And this wasn't in the 80s, and it was not in the early 90s. It was definitely when you and I were in high school this happened.
Oh wow. So that's later than you would expect.
Yes.
People were smartening up by then.
They were, but
wow.
Not at the cat donation yard sales.
Other than that, you helped some cats. You got a Death Star.
Some cool cats.
What more could you ask for? Perfect relationship right there.
Can't ask for much. Oh, I can ask for something.
Wow.
Surprises. Real quick, and now it's great because, I guess we have as much as we want to record at this point. So
5 hours a month.
Oh, is that it?
Well, that's what it says, but the month's almost over. So we do an hour a week. We have plenty of. I don't know. Right. I could always make a fake one too.
Oh, well, I didn't know that.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
All right. Waste some more time talking about it. But between 1985 and 1995, Star Wars was like super dark. Like there was no action figures. There was no content. Prior to 95, you'd go into like Suncoast Video and see like the Applause action figures.
Applause stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so all the static. So here's Chewbacca here. My sister gave plastic. My sister's husband, his mother sent down a bag of stuff for him, and she was like, "Hey, these were all donated, and I figured you'd like them because it's like space." And he's like, "Oh, I don't really like Star Wars," so he gave them to my sister, and she brought them down today. The old applause characters.
We had.
Yes.
Those are nice, though. Those are
and these were expensive at the time.
That's a great set.
Isn't this great? She didn't get Luke. Luke was not included for whatever reason, but we'll pick him up. There's
R2.
Oh my God, it's looking really great.
That's just a nice little set. Yeah.
I gotta hug it.
I had the Chewbacca. Sorry. I had the Chewbacca with 3PO and on his back in that net.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I gave that to you.
No, really? Okay.
Yeah, and here's the last one. Here's the friend.
There it is. That's probably the worst one.
That's why I saved him for last.
Yeah, the face. What's wrong with his face? Is it just the camera, or does it look really?
No,
weird?
There's something wrong with his face.
Yeah, he's like,
I want my selfie series.
Yikes!
All right, so thank you to my sister for giving me these wonderful vintage Applause toys. Mm-hmm. What we had back in the day.
We're always happy to take things that people don't want.
Yes. Well, that was the thing. She was like, "You can let Will play with them, my son," and I was like, "No,
these are from me.
Dare he?
These are collectibles."
Yes. So again,
before we leave this topic of the Selfie Series, I have to mention this guy who got a Selfie Series figure, and it looks just like Ellen, DeGeneres. It looks just like her.
It does.
I don't know what this guy did because he doesn't look like Ellen, at least from the picture that he posted. His hair is brown. I don't know why he chose this blonde hair for his figure, but he got Ellen.
I
don't know is Ellen still on TV, because she needs to have.
Yeah, I think she is. Maybe she did her own selfie. Maybe it was actually hers, and
you think it got mixed up?
Kind of swapped them. Yeah.
We haven't heard of that happening yet. I do wonder if anyone will get someone else's figure and how that works.
Well, I tried to be funny with you, and I threw Hank Hill on top of a stormtrooper.
Yeah. I was like, that haircut is way too sharp. That's not what your hair looks like. No way. So now I got to get some little 112 glasses to put on my guy so that it looks like me on the podcast.
There you go.
Someone on Etsy was selling them, and people, I think they sold out because everybody was preparing.
Oh yeah, I did see those
for their Selfie Series figure. Yeah, right. I wonder if there's any existing figures that have like not, was it Plasma Series? What's the Ghostbusters like Black Series? Is that Plasma Series?
Yeah, it was the Plasma Series.
So
I don't believe he does, but I don't think they come off.
Right?
They're sculpted on.
Right. So that is the best way to do glasses. Usually, if you have a separate piece, it looks like trash.
The Maddie Collector
make it that small.
Egon. The Maddie Collector Egon's glasses.
But I think it looks like trash.
They do because they have like a beer goggle effect.
Right. And then the Diamond Select Egon is the worst of them all. It's like someone took a paper clip and twisted it all around. It's way too thick.
Let me go grab the Baroness.
Oh, I have her too. Let me grab my own Baroness. Hold on.
All right, I'm back.
Back in black. Ben in Black 3. Yeah, fix that neckline a little. What are we talking about?
It's a vintage shirt. It's so vintage.
You get all stretched out. All right, I just want to talk about these Power Rangers Cobra Kai because this is the stupidest thing ever.
Okay.
I guess we could talk about Hasbro had their, was it 20, what was it?
10/27.
Because that was the date. So did they have that every year on the same date?
I believe they started it last year. I think, isn't it just their address? It's just the address.
It's their address and also the date?
So that's when they choose to celebrate it, like Mario Day.
Address where? In Pawtucket?
Of their headquarters, yeah.
That's cute. I like that. All right. So Hasbro this week had their big 10/27 event, which, what is the significance of that number? Why, other than it being the date, October 27, why brand it 10/27? What is that?
That's the headquarters in Pawtucket, Rhode Island's address. It's 10/27.
Oh, is it really?
Yes.
So we can just drive up there? What's
Correct.
the street name? I need that.
I'd have to look that up.
Rerouting. So they showed off some stuff. The funniest thing from this event was that they sent out an email afterwards with it like prizes you can win, enter to win prizes. But like,
yes.
I mean, they had like a couple of toys. They had like the Transformers exclusive, and then was Serpentor one of them. But it was like they're giving away one. They were like giving away one of each thing. And there were like 4 things. And one of them was a poster of Sergeant Slaughter. Not even the Sergeant Slaughter action figure. It was just like a signed poster. Which is just, I don't know, it's funny. It's like, you're the company making these toys. I think you should give away a few more. Like, there should be a few winners of each thing.
Right.
It's just sort of funny that one lucky individual will win each of these prizes. Or one per person. Whatever.
Sure.
Anyway, so we started the show talking about how much we love Hasbro. But they're not infallible. How do you say that? Infallible?
Infallible. Yeah.
So we started the show talking about how much we love Hasbro, but that's not to say they're infallible. They've been making some interesting decisions. Sure. So they own Power Rangers now. So they've been obviously making Power Ranger action figures. They've been trying to milk that cow for as much as it will give. And they've started to do something that Playmates has been doing, where Playmates, speaking of milkers, Playmates milking those turtles dry always. And they did a crossover with Cobra Kai, or what was the original version? Karate Kid.
Kid.
It's branded as Cobra Kai, which is the show on Netflix.
Correct.
The current
yes.
media. So we've had those figures with the turtles. Now Hasbro is crossing over Cobra Kai with the Power Rangers, and people are like, "Oh, what is this going to look like? Is it going to be 2-packs, whatever?"
Yeah.
What they did is they took the ninjutsu bodies that you've seen on clearance at Target at various times. There's Tommy, who I think got down to like $7, or Pink Ranger was very cheap. He's got down very inexpensive at one point. And what they did is they popped off the head, and they put on Ralph Macchio's head, not this one, on the white one, and then I don't know who Mary Mouser is. I'm not familiar with the content.
I believe it's his daughter. Isn't it his daughter?
Oh, okay. Well, that's cute.
I think so.
So now,
could be wrong. I am not familiar with the content.
You can buy these for like $27, which seems crazy.
Yes.
Because, again, these were on clearance. So all you're getting is a new head. You get flesh-colored hands instead of the colored hands. And then the insignia here will be whatever. I don't even know. So those are 2 figures in the 3-figure set. The third figure is actually kind of fun. It's the Putty, but he has a black T-shirt and pants on with bones. Yep. Which
he's got the skulls.
Is something from the show or from Karate Kid lore where they were dressed up like that for Halloween or just for funsies. I don't know. But again, $27. Minimal effort on Hasbro's part. So I am very curious to see how these sell. I'm not even sure I would buy these for 40% off. Like I have no.
Oh, really?
I'm sure there are people that care about Karate Kid and whatever I said this was.
Yeah.
Cobra Kai. I'm not one of those. I'm not gonna. I do like I've said. I didn't even order the Street Fighter Power Rangers, which were much more creative, more creative than these. These feel like real low energy, real low effort. So we'll see how these do. Yeah. I mean, this may just be like we use the term cash grab, but this is pretty much a cash grab. We're like, well,
is this the
minimal effort?
Is this the third Power Ranger crossover that they've done?
Street Fighter was another one. What would the third one be?
Turtles.
Oh, but that at least, that existed in the comics. This Cobra Kai thing is complete fantasy. It doesn't exist in any media.
Of course, yeah. No,
the Turtles were great. The Turtles are great, even though they haven't sold as well as I think they hope because they've been on clearance too.
They have.
But those were all new figures, at least the all new sculpts, at least the Turtles were. The Street Fighter does actually exist in the video game, the Power Rangers video game. So there's some reason for those toys to exist. But Cobra Kai stretching that material a little too thin, I think. Reaction has not been super positive, at least from what I've seen. Yeah, I don't know that there's a crossover between Cobra Kai and Power Ranger fans. You would think, it's karate-based content, but maybe not. I don't know. So I did want to just get that in there because I think it's so silly. Did we get anything else revealed at 10:27? Well, I didn't watch. Oh, you know what? Actually, I didn't watch it, but I saw the clips. We got another look at the Proton Pack.
We did get it. I did watch that. I did watch some of the functionality, the unboxing. They did mention that they took a lot of the items out of it that would cause some microphone feedback. So some of the protection, the foam or whatever they're going to use to wrap the Proton Pack itself, they removed it.
What? They took out stuff? Oh, you mean like in the packaging?
Yeah, so like bubble wrap and things like that would kind of like rumple against any microphones or anything like that.
But that just to show it off, but that will be in there when we get it to protect
Correct.
it?
Yes.
Gotcha, I understand now. Okay. I was like, they're like, this isn't going to work. Well, let's just take off this cyclos cylinder or whatever. Like, no, that's important. We need to keep that. What do we know when this is coming? Next year sometime.
It's next year. I believe they said Q3.
Oh.
So, yeah.
It might just be a year to go.
Hey, it might be in time for Halloween 2023. So
friggin' better be.
Yeah, I think that's the goal. It should be the goal at least.
We went out for the last 2 weeks. We went to some fall festivals. And I wore my spirit pack that I have hooked up to the Alice strap system that you can get on Amazon. Right. And people are like, "Oh, that's cool. Where'd you get that?" And I was like, "I got it from Spirit. You can get it right now."
People will be impressed with anything they have. I mean, they're impressed that we have a podcast. Yeah. It's like anything that they can't normally do, someone will be impressed by it. So,
I think everybody has a podcast at this point. Pretty much.
You think, but it's not. It's not.
You think
the case?
No.
Yeah.
But next year and rolling out there with this 1-to-1 replica.
There you go.
People are
just showing off.
Damn, where'd you get that? It's like it's too late. You can't. It doesn't matter where I got it. You can't have it. It's done.
We took the kids out to Davis today close out the season. I haven't been in like a month and a half.
But
to say bye to the animals, they had a Halloween.
Oh no, are they gonna slaughter them?
No, they all go to
what
farms.
Happens to them?
They all get adopted and they go to farms, and then some.
You have to adopt away all the animals.
Some of them are staples, like Peanut the camel. So she and some of the other animals go to local farms for the winter and then come back in the spring. But we did the mascot Moo. He had a parade, like a kids parade.
Yeah.
Kids costumes. Eloise was Lamb Chop, like a handmade costume with all like the eyebrows and the red buttons and the fleece, and she looked just like an actualized Lamb Chop. Will was like toothless in a hoodie, like the
How to Train Your Dragon.
How to Train Your Dragon. And it was just a hoodie that looked like toothless, had a little tail. And you would think, we're walking and doing the parade, and everyone's like, oh my god, look, it's Toothless. He looks so great. Here's some candy. And then Eloise would walk by. One? Yeah, Eloise would walk by. Here you go. And it's like...
They don't remember Lamb Chop.
Of course they don't remember Lamb Chop. So yeah, we're in the line, and the girl giving out the tickets was like, oh, you're a sheep. And Eloise was like, I'm Lamb Chop. And she's like, oh, you're Lamb Chops? That's pretty funny, because that's a funny one. It's a play on words, kind of. And I'm like, she's not Lamb Chops. She's Lamb. Just like
Lewis is rolling over her grave. That's why you had to be Hush Puppy to sell it.
I was beside myself. I was just like, oh, poor Eloise.
That is sad when you have a nice costume and people don't acknowledge you or don't even know what you're supposed to be.
Right.
So sad.
Yeah.
Did everybody make it out of there okay? No incidents with the animals or anything?
Oh, and funny that you mention it. So
there was we rehearsed.
Right? So there was a very aggressive sheep that I had noticed. I had Eloise stand next to these group of sheep just because it was very funny because she was dressed up and, they were actual farm animals. So I was like, let's take a picture of that. So I noticed one of the sheep starts like going after Eloise, like trying to headbutt her, and I'm like,
no.
What's going on here?
She thinks it's a rival sheep?
She thought it was a rival sheep, so I'm like,
oh no.
I'm like, Eloise, get away from that guy. He's got an issue. So we walk away, and we don't realize that my wife was still feeding the goats because another one had come up and was very small, and she was like, oh, here you go, giving it to the small one, and all of a sudden that jerk goat came and smacked my wife's hand into the fence and then bent her wrist back with the full force of his neck and his horns.
Wow.
And I was like 20 feet away, and she comes over crying, and I'm like, what's wrong with you? And she's like, the goat. I think it's broken.
Oh, no.
So, wasn't broken, just gave her a nice big lump on her wrist.
Damn.
But you can't trust those things.
Listen, I don't trust goats because they have square eyes. You can't trust anyone with square eyes.
Fair enough.
What's going on there? Do you see in 4 dimensions? It's bizarre. Honestly, what is going on there? Well, I'm sorry. I hope she feels better. I hope that they slaughter that goat and serve it to you for Thanksgiving dinner.
That's what we had asked if that would happen, but then you have to sign a waiver to get in there. So it's like, if you hurt yourself, it's your own fault.
Oh, you can't sue the animal.
No,
it's your own fault. It's definitely not my fault that this animal attacked me. How dare you? How dare you make that assumption that I was doing something that would cause it? Speaking of murdering animals, we've talked on the show about our relationships with wildlife. You had you kept a hornet. What was it? A wasp?
It was a wasp.
Yep.
Stingy.
Stingy. Yes.
Yeah.
You tried to you prolonged its life. You gave it, all you were there with it on its deathbed, and then it died. That's very sad. I was raising a generation of tadpoles. There were so many of them, an entire generation. I was very, they just sort of appeared. It's not it was like the stork dropping off the baby on your front doorstep. It's like, I didn't ask for this. It was given to me. This responsibility of making sure that these frogs mature and exist.
I'm a reluctant dad.
Yeah, a reluctant adult dad to tadpoles. So, I was taking care of them, to the extent that you can take care of tadpoles. And one day, they were gone. They were gone, and this was a few months ago. And it's been a mystery. It's like, what happened to these tadpoles? Did something eat them? Because it's like their dead bodies were floating to the top. they either like disintegrated or I don't know what happened to them. So we're like, oh, maybe something took them. My wife floated the idea that maybe they were struck by lightning, which seemed sort of strange and like maybe should have been a clue that something was afoot. But this week it was revealed. The killer was revealed. And do you know who murdered all of those tadpoles?
Baby Yoda.
No, it was my wife.
No,
she killed them. She killed them all. Not just the men, but the women and the children. I guess they're all children. And the frogs don't have a gender, but yeah.
Oh my God.
So she took it upon herself. Actually, you know, I gave her guff, and we'll get into that. But it is an invasive species, and this is actually what you're supposed to do to the... Are you frozen or are you just in shock?
I'm in shock.
Okay. You were just not moving. I was like, did you freeze?
No.
So, yeah, so she actually did a good thing for the environment, because I don't know if you've seen these videos on TikTok of the armies of frogs that start off as tadpoles, and there's so many tadpoles, and those would become so many frogs, and they would just wreak havoc and eat all the things they shouldn't eat. But so she just revealed this yesterday, and I was taken aback. I was like, wow, you killed something of mine. I feel like it's only fair that I kill something you love. And I wasn't going to kill the children, because, you know, that's frowned upon, even though, you know, killing people is very in vogue right now with all those Netflix series. So what I did is she hates certain food. Like, she's really against, like, she is very specific in what she will eat. She doesn't like vegetables. She hates pickles. So I had some pickles in the fridge, and I just walked over with a jar, and I was like, eat these. This is your punishment. This is your penance.
This is your penance.
And she took one. She went over by the sink, and she took one bite, and she threw it. She was bleh, bleh.
Oh God.
I was like, this is worse. This is like how
this is going on in your house.
Wasting food. Delicious pickle. You've just sent it down the garbage disposal. So, yeah, I said that I thought a good name for her would be Jeffrey Frogger, because of all the death. But she didn't think that was funny. Not that she thought it was mean. She just didn't think I was a funny pun. So I'll leave that up to you to see if anybody thinks that was funny. But yeah, so all the frogs are dead. So my dream of raising a colony of frogs will never come to fruition unless I raise them in secret, because my wife will always be hiding in the shadows, ready to murder all of them. What's up?
My God. Uh-oh.
I did not say that my biggest fear in life is frogs.
That's the thing.
That's well established.
She's afraid of frogs. I think everyone at this point realizes that. Yeah.
Yes.
She's gone. But I did say that you did the right thing and that they're an invasive species. But she didn't care about that. It wasn't. She wasn't doing this for any good reason other than she really is afraid of frogs.
Wow.
But the funny thing is, in the past few weeks, frogs have been invading our house. Like, they've been like hiding above the doors and getting in, and like she's like, "What's going on?" But now we know. We know, because they know, and they're out for revenge.
I did my
the revenge is just existing.
That's crazy. I did my annual emptying of my parents' frog ponds, in which we let all the water out and we save all the frogs.
Right.
That are in there.
As one
and
does.
we put them in the pond behind your parents' house or your mother's house.
Nah. Oh, in my mother's house.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
So invading you up north too.
There you go. I think these are Florida gets all the weird frogs because they come from the other countries, and like,
oh sure.
You know, we get iguanas. I've never seen an iguana in person, but they exist. People
they
have seen
do.
them,
I've seen them
splattered on the road. Yeah.
Ugh.
Boa constrictors are just like slithering around because people get them as pets, and then they're like, "What the hell do I do with this thing? Throw it outside."
Get out there.
So anyway, speaking of Dungeons and Dragons, that's a pretty good transition, right?
It sure is.
Reptiles. So Dungeons and Dragons apparently is going to be a movie that's coming out. It looks like Chris Pine is in it. Is that who that action figure is supposed to represent?
Was there an action figure of Chris Pine as
there was like
a Dungeon and
4
Dragon?
action figures, and I feel like one of them was Chris Pine. It looks like Chris Pine. If it's not, then
it's Chris Pratt.
Let's do probably. Okay, I just Googled it, and it seems like, yes, he is. He plays Edgin.
Oh,
Sophia Lillis is Doric. Regina Page, Zink. Michelle Rodriguez is Holga. Chloe Coleman, Daisy Head. Hugh Grant. Wow, what a
Hugh Grant.
Star-studded. So I know nothing about Dungeons and Dragons. This is like the game where you roll dice and then you make up stories as you go. I think I would have been really into this if like any of my friends had been Dungeons and Dragons people like on Stranger Things. I think I would have been way into this. Thankfully, that was not the case. Our drug of choice was action figures. So that was our nerdy vice. So, and we didn't need it. We didn't need anything else. But yeah, so Hasbro is doing figures based on this. They showed off the 4 like Black Series-esque figures. But then the thing that really caught my eye is they have these dragons, creatures that start off as oversized dice or die because there's multiple. And then they open up like the Transformers, and they're dragons and an owl. But someone's like, there's so much kibble, and it's true because like you can only do so much to hide the pieces when you're
all the flat pieces
becoming
of the
a
dice.
die. Yeah,
correct.
So it really reminded me of what was that? It was like during the time of Beast Wars. It was like a TV show, like Animorphs or something. Was that it?
Animorphs, yeah, but they were also they were made by Transformers as well. They
were made by Hasbro.
Yes.
So they like didn't try, or like they couldn't hide the kibble. Like it was very clear that these were transforming into something else. So they never, they didn't, obviously that they're not as beloved as the actual Transformers because they did not look as good. So that's sort of what we're dealing with here. But I think these are fun, and so props to Hasbro.
Again, is that a Transformers fan saying there's too much kibble, or is it the Dungeons and Dragons fan that it's meant for, who's just like, check out what this oversized dice does?
Yeah, but there's never been, it's not like this is something from Dungeons and Dragons lore. Like, is there dice in the movie and they transform into creatures? Like, is that how it works?
Who's to know?
This just seems like something
Hasbro
Hasbro
the Spirit Halloween movie yet. So
yeah, I think that's done. I think that's gone.
You can watch it on Vudu.
Oh, really? Can you?
Yeah, but I don't think it's free. It's not free. You have to buy it.
Oh, I thought everything on Vudu was free.
It might be. I mean, I think I said it was on Vudu for $4.99.
What the hell was that?
It was me.
Oh, okay.
Mini-Me.
Oh, Mini-Me fell over?
Yeah.
I need to take a look at mine again. There he is. Hi, how's it going? What's up? Oh, you got the Baroness glasses. That was what caused all our problems.
I got Destro's pimp glasses.
Oh, even better. Yeah.
And then I did pick up Baroness's because I realized the original Baroness, her glasses don't come off, but the retro style Baroness from Walmart, her glasses are packed separately. So here I am.
I have the one with the bike that I was showing off. There you go. Is that the original one that comes with the bike?
No. Did the glasses come off with the bike?
I don't know. I got some.
I struggled.
I got some black shades. He's a cool guy. Cool guy, Paul. So yeah. This was something that caught me completely off guard. MCMCC or MCM Comic Con.
Yeah.
In London or England at least.
Okay.
So I had to look it up because I wasn't sure. Movies, comics, media, or something like that.
Yeah.
I googled it, but then I closed the window. Something like that. So I've never heard of this. Maybe it happens every year. I don't know. But Hasbro showed off some new Star Wars. They showed off some new Marvel Legends. And did you get a chance to take a peek at any of these? Anything
I did look at. I did look at the Black Series stuff. Probably not going to purchase it right off the bat. I'll probably wait for some nice deals.
I think that's the way to play it at this point.
It really is at this point. Yeah. You got Mara Jade finally from the Heir to the Empire saga.
Now, I was under the impression that she had been retconned out of existence. Is she canon?
No, she's not canon yet. But the what they did show off was expanded universe. What do they call it? Not canon, but legend style figures as well as comic style figures. So there are several comics. The comic book, like the white Darth Vader that's coming out.
Yes.
That's from a comic book. That's from Star Wars Infinities. So like the ultimate.
But they're not
take.
willing to go as far as to say that this exists in the actual
Correct.
Star Wars universe.
Correct,
This
but
is
they're
just
throwing
like-
the
This is
fans
just
a bone
fun,
by
like someone had a
producing something
dream.
that you like. Yes. So it's a mix of new media or new canon stuff
There you go.
plus old legend stuff. It's like we get that bad black Chewbacca figure that came out after Boba Fett, the black chrysanthemum figure.
Chrysanthemum,
Yeah.
Did they? So I saw that they were going to do Cad Bane from Mando or Boba Fett, whatever he existed in.
Boba Fett.
But they haven't shown that they're going to do Black Chrysanthemum from the TV show.
I think he was a
they'll-
pipeline. I think he's a pipeline.
Oh, was
reveal
he?
at some
Okay,
point.
I didn't see his photo up there. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
because
that
that figure
was
they put out
from a couple
the
months
comic
ago.
version. It's not going to cut it. It's not going to cut it.
No. So
And
he'll
that
probably
could
come out
that
as a
could
deluxe
potentially
figure.
be a very nice figure.
Yes.
I got a shipping notice from Target this week that my Halloween troopers are shipping, but you
Ah,
found
yes.
them in the store.
I found them in the store, but I can't show them off right now. So
Is it a secret? Is it in the car?
no, they're in the car. Yeah.
They're in the car. Yeah, that's fine. But have we confirmed that they glow in the dark or not?
I think they don't. I've heard that they don't.
Oh.
That's a big loss. Yeah, they
Come
don't. They don't
on.
glow in the dark.
That's lame.
It is lame.
Is glow in the dark paint more expensive? Like, come on.
I would say it is.
That's disappointing. The weird thing is that the Wookiee, the Halloween Wookiee, I thought was exclusive to Walmart, but you can order him on Entertainment Earth. So I
no
don't know
kidding.
what's going on there. Yeah. Use code TOYPOD, save 10% and free shipping on anything in stock.
There you go.
I saw this one place, and I just want to quickly mention it. Someone said that there's a rumor that they're going to do episode 10, and I just have to think that there's no chance that they are done. They're done with that.
Unless my wife's writing it and her proposed script for it is that somehow Kylo Ren, Ben Solo, returns from the ether
somehow
and
he
is
returned.
redeemed. Somehow, yes, somehow Palpatine has returned. Somehow Ben Solo has returned.
The funniest thing about watching Andor is how they talk about what just happened. Did your lights go out? It's spooky in there now.
It's the Halloween episode.
There you go. All our Halloween episodes, something always goes wrong. Dating back to the very first episode where it was like 10 minutes long because all our technology died on us. Boop. You're listening to the Reluctant Adult Podcast. If you enjoy what you're hearing, go ahead and listen to the whole podcast. Yeah.
So spooky.
The funniest thing about watching Andor is how they talk about Palpatine and how he's just like, he's like a politician and that's all they know him as. Like,
right.
They don't know that he's like, I'm evil and I have powers. Like, do they know he's a Sith Lord? They just know him as like this jerk up on Capitol Hill making all these rules.
Yeah, but they're like, but he's here to protect us. It's like,
right.
Whom?
All the excuses you make for the tyrant when he tries to take over. Yeah.
Are you still enjoying Andor?
So I gotta say that this week I forgot that I was watching a Star Wars show and I was just mesmerized by how engaging it was as television. Yeah. Like they just all the different worlds simultaneously showing like he's in prison now and then something else like that's a different kind of prison and they're like they're working together and that's like hypnotic how they were like moving all the pieces. And then you had Andy Serkis show up and was very, very good in that role. And it was very Squid Games meets what's the show on Apple TV that I like with Ben from Parks and Rec?
Oh shoot, I don't know.
It's like something with S. It's not Succession. It's what the hell? What's that show I like that I can never remember on Apple TV with Ben from Parks and Rec? What is it? Severance.
So
it's like part I can't remember anything. Severance. So yeah, so it's just like it's very gripping, and it takes place in Star Wars, so you get those little hits of like, oh, this is a different planet, this is a different universe, things are a little different, but really everything comes down to being the same, and people wanting power. And it's very interesting that they went this route to show how the Empire was able to mobilize so quickly. They just made everyone a slave, basically.
Right. So
they showed it, and they're like,
and they showed it,
and they went as far as to have this electric floor. I was like, oh, who thought of that?
Oh yeah, the electric floor is great.
You could just have people with those shock batons, but no, we need to take it a step further and have this really like horrific
the whole
thing.
The whole floor is electric, and you see the Imperial prison guards wearing these crazy boots, and you're like, what the heck are these goofy boots? And then you realize you're like, oh, the floor is gonna just get you.
Yeah. I'm so into what they're putting out right now, and it's funny because you don't see a lot of talk about it online, because I don't think there's a lot of people that either don't love it or they're just not watching it, because with shows that are very divisive, you see a lot of chatter and people like take sides. That's not happening here. I think everybody that's watching it is enjoying it, and it's just like, it's just enjoyable. That's what it is. It's enjoyable. It's Star Wars, yes, but it's good TV first. And I think that is something that we haven't really seen. Like, we like Mandalorian, but it's very Star Wars. It's very Star Wars. You never forget for a second that it's Star Wars.
Right. It's a lot of fan service, a lot of things you really want to see, like stuff that you've really dreamed of. This is just like you've mentioned, and like a lot of people have mentioned, the word grounded in a reality that you can understand. You're like, oh, okay. So yeah, there is sex in Star Wars. I get that. So there are prisons in Star Wars. Oh, and here's what they're like.
This is what it's like. Yeah. There is breakfast cereal in Star Wars, and this is what it's like. It's just very good. You get to see all these different worlds. Like, we've seen so much in these few episodes that we haven't seen in all of the other media combined. Like, we saw a Vacation Planet, and we're just like, it's just so interesting. Yeah. So I love it. I want more of it. I hope it never ends. That's the sad part about it. We know that it only has one more season, and then it catches up to the timeline, and the characters are dead. So unless we haven't gone back to him as a child on that other planet, I do wonder if we'll see any more of that.
I mean, the only thing that we would see and infer is like what happened to the planet, but we already know that it was a cataclysm that wiped out the adult population but left the kids.
Oh, do we know that?
Yes, that is confirmed.
Oh. What is
that's why all the adults were wearing masks and the kids were fine, but all the adults, like the patrol and the ship, and then
but that was just I thought that ship just crashed. I didn't think that was
that ship just crashed. That wasn't related to that. But him being born, that's they definitely confirmed that all the adults or of people of a certain age perished, but the kids were left behind.
Oh, it's like Lord of the Flies then.
More or less, yeah.
Did I use that correctly? I always, whenever I see like actual flies buzzing around, I'm like, oh, it's like Lord of the Flies. And my wife's like, you're an idiot. Like, well, you killed ball night frogs. Yeah, so that's continuing. We have a few episodes left of that. I don't know. So he's in jail now. Obviously, he's going to break out, but it's funny. So like everybody wants him now, but no one wants him for like a good reason.
Yeah, they all want him dead.
Yeah, they he knows too much, or like they didn't like what he did. It's like he doesn't have a lot of friends. He's got his mom, and he's got that droid, and maybe Bix, but
maybe Bix.
I don't know. So very interesting. Can't wait. I always enjoy if I remember to watch it. I never watch it on Wednesday. I always forget, but it's very good. I like it.
It's my turn off all the lights in the house show.
Yeah, it's gotta be. You gotta have it dark. Yeah.
Yes.
Other big media conglomerate, DC, made a huge announcement this week that James Gunn, that you may know from lots of other Marvel things, is taking over the reins of the DC universe in the film. And I think this is probably the best decision that they could have made, because he's proved himself with Peacemaker. That was probably my favorite DC thing. He worked on Suicide Squad 2, which, not my favorite, but definitely better than a lot of the other things. Right. He's going to bring cohesion to this universe, for better or worse. He's going to figure out a timeline and what it's going to look like. None of this going back and forth and like, oh, Matt Reeves stuff is a different thing. It's not part of this. That'll be a sad part if we lose that. I think they'll still make those movies, but it'll be weird. And then there's like Joker 2, which is another separate thing. So there's a lot he's got to reconcile. There's a lot going on.
You just look at it like X-Men back in the early 2000s. It's like, okay, so what do we do to separate ourselves from that? Because we already have it. Just ignore it. Start anew.
Yeah. Do you think that's what they'll do? They'll start anew?
I think they should.
With the same Superman, same Batman?
Oh, do you think they could get... Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
Isn't that what we've confirmed? Like,
are we
the Black
confirming
Adam post thing? Like
Henry Cavill is returning? Okay.
Yeah, and then Batfleck. We saw him with Seaman. What's his name? Underwater Man.
Aquaman.
Oh yes, there it is.
Yes,
yeah.
That's right.
So I think those are the pieces they have for the board.
Okay.
It's just where you move them now.
Good. Well, I wish him luck.
Who, James Gunn?
Yes.
James Gunn, a very interesting trajectory. I remember Slither. I think the only reason I saw that because Pam from The Office was in it, and they were married. And like now, she was the star. Now, obviously, he's I mean, I want to say a much bigger star, just more current in Hollywood. Yeah. And then he got canceled from Disney. Someone found some old tweets, and Disney's like, "See ya." And now he not only did Disney bring him back to do a lot of projects, he's in charge of DC. Yeah. So take from that what you will. Don't necessarily just give up because someone says you gotta go away for a little while.
Right.
I wanted to look up what the Ghost Rider Kickstarter HasLab is at because I have a feeling it's not good. When we last left, it was under 5,000, and that's where it remains. 4,798 with 2 days to go.
Yep. So part of that 1027 was it 10? Yeah, part of the 1027 reveal.
Yeah.
Was the final stretch goal figure. Damien, insert last name. I don't know, and I'm sorry. There.
Did that move the needle? Where people?
I think it moved it down.
Now I need it.
Now you need it, yeah.
No. There was an account that did a live stream up to midnight when the Rancor was ending because they thought it was going to get funded at the last minute and it would be an exciting thing, and then it didn't get funded. So it was sort of a letdown. I don't know that anyone will be doing that because it's pretty for sure that this is not going to happen unless they just fake it.
Sure.
No, it's not gonna. It's not. It's like I don't even know why they were even bothering trying to get people to fund it at this point because it's not gonna happen.
It's not.
You gotta know when to say enough is enough. Like, come
gotta
on.
know when to fold them.
Gotta know when to hold them. You gotta know when to fold them. It's time to fold them. All right, I'm looking at Damon Hellstorm.
Ooh.
He is a shirtless man with a trident. I think people refer to him as the evil Aquaman.
Okay.
That is, he's got the pentagram on his chest.
Pentagram, yeah.
Which probably would not fly on Target shelves, so
it would not.
It's probably the only way to get him. But yeah, not a lot of interest in this line. I think it was pretty doomed from the start just because of the price tag and as nice as the product is, and it is nice. It looks amazing with all the lights and the flame accessories. There's not $350 worth of product here.
No.
And I think having this be successful would have been a dangerous precedent to set because then Hasbro's like, all right, well, what else can we sell for $350?
Right.
How about just a couple figures? So, not happening. We'll see it in Jesse Felgen's office. We'll see it on the tours of Hasbro if you ever get a chance to visit, which is apparently their address is 1027. So there's not much more to say about that. They did announce the next HasLab, which is a Transformers thing, which is like $100 or something.
Yeah, 180. Yeah.
With the Transformers ones, they're all pretty like inexpensive compared to the other stuff. So it's like this is probably going to happen. Like
it should.
I don't even know why this has to be a HasLab. We can just put this out there as a regular thing. But that's what they're doing. So Auto T, we've talked about them. This is the NECA collaboration with Walmart, where you buy a virtual thing, but then you can make it. Yeah. They can send it. You can say like, send it to me now.
Right.
And people have been saying, send it to me now, for apparently more than 15 days and not getting it. And apparently it was supposed to happen within 15 days. So they're like, I'm going to sue. Or some version of like, they violated their terms and agreements. Yeah. I'm mad. But even more than that, people have been finding the cards at Walmart on the shelves. This is the other thing. Right. It's not just you don't just buy it online. You can actually go to Walmart and take it off the pegs. And then when you run it through the register, it's supposed to print out a code that allow you to buy the product.
Yeah.
These are supposed to be limited product, but people have been finding that you can scan the ticket more than once, or you can just take a picture of it and then scan that, and you can buy it and buy it and buy it and buy it and buy it.
Oh my.
So the question is that a mistake? Or is there unlimited amount? Like, will they just keep churning these out if people keep buying them?
Of course.
We don't know the answer to that. Nobody seems to know. I think people had been posting responses, and NECA's basically like, that's a Walmart problem. We don't really know what's going on.
Oh, of course. Yeah, that's a Loot Crate problem. We don't know anything about that.
Pointing the finger, playing the blame game. We've seen this tale as old as time with NECA, unfortunately. Thank God these weren't figures that I was interested in, because I did not want to get involved in this madness. And
it is madness.
So it's madness. It's madness. But it's interesting.
It is interesting to watch from an outside.
It's interesting to watch from the sidelines and not be financially involved in any way.
Yes.
So take that.
You get to just be like, yep, good. It's not me.
Yeah, there we go. It's interesting to follow, as long as I don't have to have my money involved. I'm trying to look up the Mattel Creations Eternia playset, because it got funded.
Yes.
The early bird goal was met, but then it was like didn't really tick on too many more than that. So
it met the 8,000, the secondary tier.
So we got the Moat Monster, but we have not unlocked Kelklar, Leader of the Elders, which you need to get to 10,000. It's currently at 8,238. With 11 days yet left to go. So it definitely can make that. But it is interesting that once it got that early bird goal, things really sort of just slow down a little bit. Sure. And that has been sort of the discussion this week online. If these early bird goals are a good thing for the product or not. Because it's like, okay, it reaches that goal and everyone's like, okay, well, if I didn't do it by then, I'm not going to do it now. I'm missing out. So it's like, are you shooting yourself in the foot by setting a goal so early, or should you just like let it ride the whole time? Like, obviously they would love for these to be funded day one. That is their goal. Have them funded right away, and then you don't have to worry. But again, as we saw with the HasLab for the Ghost Rider, it didn't make that early bird goal, and then it was dead in the water. Yeah. So it's really a risk-reward situation. It's worked out so far for Mattel. We'll see if it reaches that final goal of 10,000. I think it probably will. But
it has been slow, though. It's interesting to see that it has been slow.
Mm-hmm. That's really what we're saying here. Like, but again, you got to take each of these Kickstarters a case by case basis, because the fan base for this is different from the fan base for the Sentinel, from the fan base for Jabba's Barge. They're all different fans. Obviously, there is crossover. But it's just different people. So we were talking last week about Cookie Monster and all the failed HasLabs. I don't know that I would fund it. Do you remember how much Cookie Monster cost? Was it like 200?
Yeah, he wasn't much.
He wasn't much. Here's the thing. Now that
I know, 249, I thought.
Yeah. So now that we know how these things work, I feel like if they did him again and threw in some stretch goals, he might get funded, because. When you're unless the number is like, now he was 250 in 2021 money, but now he'd be like $700 with inflation. But yeah, like that seems pretty reasonable. And he was big. I don't think that I remembered him being so large. Like, this would be a centerpiece for your home. This giant Muppet.
Well, it was 1-to-1, wasn't it?
No. Was it?
No. I thought
Maybe.
it was at least close too. Yeah,
because it wasn't a puppet, but like this would be he's a hand puppet, but then
Right.
his hands are you put like human hands in his hands. So was he that big? Oh man, maybe
he was large.
Damn. Now I really wish he was funded or put him up again. I don't know if they have the rights to do the Muppet characters, but like if they did a Kermit, you could stick him in the reporter outfit from Sesame Street if you had to.
Yeah,
I would buy Kermit. There are some people on eBay that do very nice replicas of Kermit as a puppet. Well, that's the other thing. I want him as a puppet. I don't know if they just can't do it or like it would be more expensive or whatever. But like
Right.
I want these to be puppets, and I'm sure people would retrofit them to be puppets. But
yeah.
that's like having the poser is fine. That's one thing. But like I want these to be a puppet. Oh, speaking of puppets, GameStop has been having this clearance sale for it seems like months, and they keep getting new stuff. And it's all 50% off the clearance price. So this week I walked into 2 separate GameStops, and they each
Shut
had
up.
Boglins. I'd never seen Boglins at a GameStop before. I'd never seen
What?
Boglins at all. Even my Walmart didn't have them.
Shut up.
So I got them for like $20, if that.
No.
Yeah. That's the sweet spot right there. I couldn't say no. Look at this. Look at this thing. His eyes move. You can
Oh my.
close his eyes a little bit, and he's obviously you got a mouth that moves.
Yeah.
This is fantastic. This is just a lot of fun.
I gotta get to GameStop.
Yeah, go check. I'm starting to check a different location like every week. Anytime I'm
No
by
kidding.
there, just stop in. You never know what they're gonna have.
It's insanity. That's a great pickup.
Crazy. Yeah, I got that. I got a blue one. I left him at work, so I could play with him at work.
There you go.
I love it. Definitely different than I remember them because I think the original ones were one piece. This one, the arms are like separate
Yeah.
and they're held on by this harder plastic circle thing. So it's like they have a little bit of movement, but you can see it's like a separate piece.
Right.
But I also don't think the first like the ones from the 90s or the late 80s had this contraption here to move the eyes. Like this has some technology in it, some engineering.
It's a very nice puppet.
Look at that. It's a very nice puppet. What are you looking
Ooh.
at? Huh? Ooh? Huh? Huh? Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. So like I want to get good at puppeteering him because it's kind of you have to like one finger does this eye, one finger does this eyelid, and then the middle finger does the eyes, and then your thumb is doing the mouth. There's just like a lot going on. But very fun. Again, the tail is like a separate piece. It has a little bit of a break there, so I don't know if there's a reason why they couldn't do it as one solid piece of rubber, but also doesn't smell. Like I remember the plastic having almost like a porous quality to it, and this is very solid. So I guess it's like a better product. It's just different than we remember, so it doesn't have that complete nostalgic feel that I would have liked. But
Fantastic.
I'm sure there are reasons they can't use that plastic anymore. I'm sure it's like outlawed and like this is hazardous to work with probably.
Yeah. I'm
Anything
very
else you
happy
want to
for
talk
you.
about? Thank you. Anything else on our list we need to get to? Anything else you want to talk about this week, Bill?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, you're just checking. What else is there? Looking at our list.
Yeah. Oh my, yeah, there was that. Tales of the Jedi. We didn't talk about Tales of the Jedi.
I didn't watch it. All right, I'll segue into that.
Yeah.
So there's a new Star Wars cartoon on Disney Plus, Tales of the Jedi. I have not got a chance. I have not had the chance to watch this yet. But did you see it?
I watched it before I watched the latest episode of Andor, and
Okay.
as a Clone Wars fan of the Clone Wars cartoon that was on Cartoon Network and then finished out on Disney Plus, this series, animated by the same animation house, they're directed by Dave Filoni, just fits right in, and it's amazing looking. It's 6 episodes. They're all shorts. You can get through it in about 80 minutes, which is excellent. It's not long, and it just fills in gaps, which is awesome. Yeah,
Cool.
so it focuses mainly on Ahsoka
Sure.
and Count Dooku.
Just a funny name.
Count Dooku, yeah.
Dooku.
Dooku.
Dooku cuckoo.
The biggest
Okay,
thing, though,
check that out.
so Yaddle is in it, the female
Female Yoda.
Yoda.
Yeah.
And she doesn't speak like Yoda does.
No, so Yoda's just a weirdo.
Yoda's just a weirdo.
What the hell?
So a lot of people assume that his master kind of taught him how to speak, and his master was the weirdo.
Oh.
And he just talks like that.
Grogu's going to talk like Mandalorian. Like that species just takes over.
Right.
Takes after whoever's speaking to them, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll ever get that young Yoda series or movie and we can learn more about how he came around?
I guess
always
we could
tease
get
that as a thing. That's always like their go-to. Like, how about you want a young Yoda? We could do a young Yoda.
Right. So yeah, young Yoda at this point would have to be like what, 200 years old?
Yeah.
Just based off of Grogu being 50.
Yeah, right, exactly. How young we going? We need him to at least be able to speak. That would be pretty messed up.
It's 200 years.
Or we could just go. Let's go even younger. Let's do Muppet Baby Star Wars. I just want to see little Yoda in a diaper rolling around. Like, I poop. I have. Yeah, it's fun. All right. Anything else for this big week?
I can't think of anything. No, I think we're good.
Very good. All right, everybody. Well, you know what we say. We don't want to grow up, but we already did. Have a great week, everybody.
Bye, everybody.